Hey everybody, it's Susan with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. I have a Stampin' Show and Tell for you today, and as you can see, we're going to be using the Healing Hugs stamp set. Some of my customers have recently said there's no really good get well soon card stamps to be using. They're wishing there were more, and well, here's a brand new set that's just for that reason. So we've got Get Well Soon, sending you healing vibes. If hugs and kisses could cure, you'd be immune to everything. Feel better soon. I like that one. And wishing you a quick and complete recovery. So we're going to make a card today using this set. This happens to also be one of our, I believe it's one of our distinctive stamp sets where the flower started out as a photograph and then it was made into a stamp for us. So that's got fun texture stamped right into it when we use that. So now, where did I come up with the idea? Well, it wasn't mine. I had thought about doing a shaker card for a while. I did one a while back, so I do have a shaker card. I filled this one a little bit too much, but I still like it. But I was looking at some of the current challenges, and I found the Freshly Made Sketches Challenge. This one is actually due on July 25th, 23rd, 25th, somewhere in there. So probably by the time you see this posted on my YouTube video, the challenge will be over, but you can go to the link and see everything else that was created using this sketch as well. So I'll have that below as usual. So I started with this, and I thought, okay, so we're going to have a strip and we're going to have 3 circles, but I thought, they don't have to be circles, and I wanted to use the new set, so I'm using the rose. And then I saw these 2 darker circles as maybe my windows for my shaker bits. So that's what I did, and then I stamped a strip for here, and I stepped everything in a little bit. As you can see, I've got everything stepped in a little bit from the edges. So I'm going to case this card for you today. My initial plan wasn't exactly what I came up with the sample here, so I'm going to see if I can do better the second time around, and I'll walk you through the changes, but basically it's going to go together the same way. So let's get started. So I'm starting with a thick white card base. Since I'm going to put a lot of weight on the front of it, I want my card to be able to stand up, so I'm using the thick white cardstock for that. Then I have some pieces here. Now I've already stamped some of those leaves, but we're going to go ahead and stamp a rose in the lovely lipstick. This is our new red, new in color red. So let me go ahead and stamp and ink that up. And stamp a rose because we're going to trim that out to use it on top. So there's that. And then I've already got some of these leaves stamped, so I don't have to do that part. Now let's go ahead and stamp the front of our card. So like I said, I have this strip that comes down this side, and what I did with the Call Me Clover ink, which is another one of our new in colors, is I'm going to stamp the leaf pattern repeatedly down this strip. So kind of like stamping your own designer series paper, but I'm going to overlap my stamp. I'm actually going to stamp it every time because you can see when I stamp this, it's got a dark leaf and a light leaf to start with. So I'm just kind of overlapping that variegated leaf. You can leave some of it white, or you can go back and stamp over the top. And I'm just stamping straight down, just like that. Okay, I'm going to add a little more to the top there, and I'm going to fill that in. Alright, so I've got my strip of leaves there. Okay, so I'm going to take that. Now I have 2 pieces that are going to become the front panel here. I have a piece of 4 by 5 1/4, and this happens to be 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. So that piece is going to go right over the top of this one. So let me use my snail and attach that. Okay. So this is going to go right on the edge of this panel. Okay, now here was the first mistake I made the last time. I should have stamped my words first and then punched out my windows, and I punched my windows out first. So I don't want to do that. I want to stamp my words first. So on this one, I'm actually going to use the big Get Well Soon stamp. I'm still going to stamp it in the lovely lipstick. And this time I'm going to put it down here. Okay. So now that I've got my sentiment on my card, I can punch out my 2 windows that are going to become my shakers. So I can come above this one and punch one there, and then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to overlap my circle kind of between the white and the stamped section. Let's see, I'll make it about 50-50. Okay, so there's my 2 shaker windows. Now, how do you make a shaker card? Well, you need some window sheet, and I've cut myself 2 window sheet panels, and I'm just going to use my snail, and I'm going to add some snail around my edges of my circle here. You could also use a liquid adhesive, so whatever you are more comfortable with. I got some on the inside, so I'm just going to wipe that so it's not sticky. Okay, and then I take my window sheet and I put it over the top and adhere that. Okay, so it kind of makes a false front, right? So there's that one, and then I'm going to repeat the same thing down here. Just go around my circle, add some snail, take my other piece of window sheet, get the backer off, and I'm just going to put that over my circle as well. Okay, so there's my 2 windows. Okay, so now I need to use, the little guy's going through. Alright, first I'm going to take off some of this adhesive that was on the front there. Alright, nice and neat. Okay, so there's that. Now we're going to use our dimensional strips. These are great for doing this kind of work for shaker cards. So they come in these long strips. I'm actually going to cut them shorter because I just want to make enough space for my circles here. Now you can kind of bend them around if you want to. Okay, they're a little bit pliable that way. So you can work with them that way if you want to. Now I'm going to come in, because these are thicker than our regular dimensional, so I'm going to end up putting one right along my edge anyway, so I'll just do that there. Okay, so then I just kind of boxed them in on the back of this. So these take a little bit of time, but they're fun. And I think they're really great to get, especially for a get well soon card. I think someone who's under the weather will thoroughly enjoy getting something fun in the mail. Okay, this one I'm going to cut a little bit shorter. Put it right along my edge here. Piece this one in, close off that section. Okay, so I've got one, see if this one's big enough. Yep, that'll do. Okay, so I've got my 2 circles done, but now I also want to add them to the edges so that when I put it on my card front, it's got equal lift around. I hope that makes sense. Equal lift. Because if you use the other dimensionals in combination, they won't be quite the same height, and so there'll be a little bit of play in your card. And let's see, this one's a little bit long, so I'm going to shorten that one just a little bit there. Okay, so there's that. Now let me do this corner. Got a high traffic room at the moment. Kids and dogs and husbands, and I'm using my quiet finger to tell them to shush. Okay, so see how I made that background there? Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and peel off all these backers. So we do sell sequins in our catalog. The sequins I'm using today happen to actually come from a craft store that I had in my stash from long ago. So mine aren't sequins from today, but I will put our sequence number from the catalog on my list of supplies, because that would be your source for sequins if you needed to order them. And remember, I have all my products I'm using listed below, but you can also subscribe to my show and tell newsletter. It comes out on Tuesdays, and I'll have a tutorial that writes out all the descriptions and measurements and supplies, and the video will be there as well. Alright, so I have mine in this little tin, and I'm just going to use a piece of scrap paper. So now I just want to pick up a few. Like I said, I put too many in the last one. And I'm just going to sprinkle them in my 2 circles there. Okay, so there's that. Now I have a piece of Call Me Clover, because I'm using the Call Me Clover ink on the front, and I want to just cover these circles on the back. Now, let's hope I put them where it's going to actually work. My circles might be a little bit far apart this time, but I think we're still going to be okay. So there's that. Now I'm going to add some snail to my Call Me Clover, so that helps it stick to my card front. Alright, and I've got all my edges here exposed. So now I'm going to bring in my card, and I'm going to flip this over. Make sure this opens the right way. Yep, flip this over and put this right on the front. See, it's stepped in from the edges a little bit. Okay, so first improvement, put your sentiment on first, because I didn't have enough room and I ended up putting mine on a little tag. Okay, so there's that. So I won't have to do the tag on this one. Now, I'm going to trim out the rows that we stamped before. You just have to fussy cut it. So bear with me for a minute while I fussy cut around. I think this lovely lipstick red and the Call Me Clover green might be some of my favorite ink colors for a while. I always end up falling in love with all of them. It just takes me a little while. But these I like right off the bat. So you may be seeing them more often in my videos than maybe some other videos where I use other colors. And I liked how they were bright and fresh. And this time of year, roses are definitely in bloom. So I just kind of came around that, and then I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut out a leaf. I get close, but I don't get exactly on all of the edges of it. You can leave a little bit of white. Just trim out your shape. And I like the way the leaf has one dark leaf and one lighter impression leaf. So that's kind of fun to have a variegated leaf to start with. Okay, so there's our rose and our leaf, and like you can think, remember this was where I started, right? This is what I was shooting for. And so this time I think I've done it. So here's this. So I'm just going to go ahead, since this is all pushed up on dimensionals, I'm just going to put these down with snail. And so this time I'm going to add this one right there. So see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I've got my strip, and then I'm just going to add my leaf down in there. And as you can see, I've stamped on the envelope just the rose and a little bit of that leaf there as well. And so that's what I was shooting for the first time, and this is what I came up with the first time, but they're both lovely. I like them both. I hope you like them both. I hope it made sense the way I did the shaker bits. So if it didn't, make sure you subscribe to the show and tell so you get the tutorial on that. And I hope you have fun. Hope you do some fun casing and enjoy making some Get Well cards, Healing Hug cards. And there you go. Alright everybody, there's the show and tell for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Thumbs up and comments below are always appreciated. Let me know you enjoyed what I did today. If you have any questions, you can post those below as well. I try to get back and read all the comments shortly after the videos are posted. And subscribe to the show and tell news so you don't miss out any of my fun challenges, my VIP programs, my hostess code, and all the tutorials that I'm sharing here. So, thanks everybody, and have a fabulous day. Do some fun stamping. Bye-bye.